Friend, he tells me he's running 6 miles. He's about to do the marathon. I'm like, whatever. I go home because in my head, I'm like, if he could run a marathon, I could run a marathon. That was the logic that was in my head.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I literally Google, how do you enter the New York City Marathon? How do you train for the New York City Marathon? And so this is like maybe August to September of 2019. Marathon's in November. So like it's sold out. You can't get in. So I'm like, damn. But in my head, I was ready to do it in November, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the People Run podcast. Excited to be here, close to the happy holidays here. Today, I have an awesome guest straight out of New York. I mean, you can see the medals if you're watching this on the YouTube right now or on the video on Spotify. Patryk, who's straight out from the Bronx, right? I'm wearing my Yankees hat, but I would have done that anyway.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
But, I still haven't left that from New York. But Patryk, for those listening, is a runner. He runs all distances. We're going to chop it up and talk. Excited to have him on. But without further ado, let's get right into it. But first, welcome, Patryk, man. How you doing, man?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me on, Fitz. Really excited to be speaking with you today.
Yeah, same here, man. So getting right into it, right? It's Saturday, early morning. Well, for you, kind of late morning.
Yeah.
You got your long run in today. How'd that go?
It was good. I'd say it was about 32 degrees today. So for running, it was sunny, pretty nice. So had, the similar top to this, like just a windbreaker and a long sleeve underneath, and felt great. So got, I think, 10 miles in. A little bit of a workout, like 3x1K in the middle there, and came back, little bagel. Now we got the coffee going. So it was a perfect start to a Saturday. That's it.
Bagel, do you do the breakfast after, or that's kind of after your breakfast?
I'll do like a bar. So I'm big on the nutrition. So I'll have some sort of like either a Morton bar or just some sort of carb, like a simple carb to have. And I'm eating that while I'm like putting my shoes on and getting dressed. So I'm not making breakfast before I go run. I'm having a bar, I'm having a couple of sips of whatever. And then, I go do the run and I'll have like a breakfast when I get back.
Okay. No, I kind of do similar, like typically a banana or something.
Yeah.
Kind of also big on nutrition, but not certified, which we'll get into. I know you're certified nutrition, so
yeah. It's all about the science for sure.
Yeah, I do my YouTube and all that, and from like pre-lifting and all that stuff. So like I'm well versed, but I'm not officially certified. Point being, I like to keep it simple. I can't do a big breakfast. I want to get out the door quick.
Yeah, I think I will say, just generally speaking, if you have like a big long workout, like if you're training for a marathon, you probably got to do a 20 miler, maybe twice, 2 or 3 times. For that, no, I'm getting up 3 hours early, and then I'm doing a lot. I'm probably doing a bagel, banana bar, making sure I use. So it depends. Today was like not that serious. So
I tend to do, if it's 90 minutes or less, we doing the quick one like you today. Yeah. But if I got to be out there 2 hours or more, I got to eat, because otherwise I'm crashing on the run.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, how'd you get started into, for those listening, like obviously you got a lot of people that follow, and we got some people on the podcast, but let's get into, like, how'd you get into running? What was the start? Was it a school thing? Did you lift collegiate?
I've told this story a couple of times, and I like telling it every time, and I try to like switch it up a little bit every time. So I've been running now for a little over 6 years. So I started running at the end of 2019, maybe like September 2019. And at that time, I'd never run more than 1 mile. I would maybe do like 1 mile on a treadmill when I was in the gym. I would lift, I was probably 25 pounds heavier, but I was like swole. And prior to that, I played basketball growing up. I played basketball in high school and college. So I went to Lehman College, which is Division III school here in the Bronx. I played there. I was very mid. Like I played my 4 years. I was a starter. I was a captain my senior year, but I wasn't going pro or even close to that. So I'm keeping it real with you, right? but so I play basketball, and in basketball and in a lot of other sports, you miss a layup or you're late to practice or whatever. You have this typical, all right, everybody, we got to run. You got and they have to have a better word for it. We were running suicides, is what they called it, right? Where you're running from one end to the court and back. So you got to do a. So I hated running because of that, because I, you know, took it to like the only time you got to do running is either to get conditioned to play basketball or for this punishment. So I didn't really like it. So anyway, I'm like 29 and I'm going to the gym with one of my friends. We both lived in the same building, so we went to the same gym. And I think we bump into each other and I'm asking him, so what are you working on today? And he asked me, I said, I don't know, I'm doing chest and arms or whatever, I was working on that day, regular dude stuff. We just want to have
Yep.
muscles. And I asked him, what are you doing today? And he says, I'm probably going to run like 6 miles on the treadmill because I'm training for the New York City Marathon. And this is a husky dude.
Yeah.
Husky dude. So like literally, I don't say this to him, but in my head, I'm like, see, is he dead ass? but he, no, that was my reaction was like in my mind, like 6 miles on the treadmill because he's running the marathon. And at that point, this is a little over 6 years ago, I'd never met anyone who ran a marathon or who like actually did that. And like the funny thing is, this is on 135th Street, the gym. We're less than 1 block from the marathon course, to give you some context. Like where he goes from the Bronx and then into Manhattan to Fifth Ave. We're literally next to the course. So I've seen the one time before I started running, I saw a marathon was because I was walking to the train and I saw people like on the course, but I didn't even understand how big of a deal it was, straight up, because I didn't know anybody who did it.
No,
so anyway,
I get it.
So my friend, he tells me he's running 6 miles. He's about to do the marathon. I'm like, whatever. I go home because in my head, I'm like, if he could run a marathon, I could run a marathon. That was the logic that was in my head. I literally Google, how do you enter the New York City Marathon? How do you train for the New York City Marathon? And so this is like maybe August to September of 2019. Marathon's in November. So like it's sold out. You can't get in. So I'm like, damn. But in my head, I was ready to do it in November, right? In November of 2019. So anyway, couldn't do that. Now I'm like, how do I do 2020? So I sign up literally before I even talk to him or tell anybody about it. I sign up for the 2020 New York City Marathon. I do the Team for Kids fundraiser and all that, blah, blah, blah. And then, long story short, obviously COVID happens. The marathon is then canceled, but they don't cancel until like June or July of 2020. Because nobody knew how long COVID was going to happen for.
Yeah, no one knew.
So I'm still running. I'm still training. Like, oh, it's going to be fixed and resolved by then, and I'm going to run the marathon.
Yeah.
But obviously it gets canceled, and then they offer the option to do the virtual marathon, which I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this because you still got a medal and all that. So I'm like, I didn't run for 9 months now to not do the marathon. That's actually that's the only reason I started running. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this is the only reason I started running. And I'm also like, I'm not doing this more than once. I'm not about to like train all of 2021 to like run. Like, no, once I was like, yo, once I run this, it's over. I'm not running ever again. But obviously that's what a lot of people think. So I run the virtual marathon, and then the next year I get the invite to do it again because I had raised, I raised like 16 or 1700. The goal was like 2,620. I raised like 60% of that. So they invite me back, and I only had to raise now like 1,000 left to do 2021. So then I do it. I run 2021, the real one. And that's the story about why I started running and kind of like how that all played out.
It's funny you say that, right? Like, first off, this already sounds like a hella New York episode because here in Husky, I haven't heard Husky referred to in a while, and then dead ass has been a minute.
No, facts. But like, he's a husky dude. He's like a solid dude. So like, he don't straight up in my New York mind, and this is not how I view things today. At the time, I thought he does not look like a runner because that's not what I thought runners look like. I thought they look like, the very thin East Africans that you see on TV. The marathoners that you see are 130 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
like, what is he talking about? That was my own, and I didn't know anyone who ran a marathon. Just that was my I didn't have that in my circle. I have football players, basketball players who
No, same,
were
man.
all, so yeah.
I grew up in, as you know, New York, right? And I was in a school in Brooklyn. The school was known for football, Vikings, South Shore High School. And then when I went to college, I went to New York Tech, which didn't really have much sports. It was more of a
Mhm,
tech
mhm,
hospitality
mhm.
university. But man, just hearing the Husky takes me back because I was a Husky dude at one point growing up. And I remember back
I
in the
was
days in
too.
New York. Oh, see, there you go.
I was too. I was too. You know what I'm saying? I was
You can
too.
probably relate to this as a New York. You remember back in the day, and we go on a tangent here, but whatever. When you bought clothes and your parents bought clothes, there was like a Husky section. uh,
Was.
and that's what that took me back to. but
Nah, fact. Yeah, I mean, you could say stocky. Stocky is another word, but like this different word. Whatever it was,
he was
he's like a
actually
husky
labeled
dude. He's
Husky
a
though.
full. Yeah, he's a full dude. So
Yeah,
yes, I was definitely getting the big clothes. I was always. I don't know. I don't know how tall you are. You look kind of tall.
6 even.
6.
Yeah, 6 foot
I'm
tall.
6'6". Bro,
Okay,
I'm 6 foot
you a
6.
tall
So
dude, man.
like, and I weigh like 210. So, but like,
Okay,
I'm now I'm pretty thin because I run so much. But before I was running, I was 230, 235. A lot of muscle, but I also had a lot of not muscle. I had some, extra fat lingering around because I just didn't run a lot. And I was drinking and doing, just living life. I didn't have like a drinking problem, but I was enjoying myself. No, zero cardio. I was lifting so much, zero cardio, but I was eating whatever. I was eating whatever I wanted because I'm like, I lift too, and I'm tall, so it's like it distributed well. But
yeah.
yeah, I didn't see like abs and all that until I was running 40 miles, 50 miles a week. I didn't see not one ab, and now I got some
No, same
abs.
for
So
me. I stayed Husky for quite a while. I didn't lose the weight till like I got into lifting. Uh, and yeah, it took me a minute because, like you, I was in New York enjoying life, man. The parties, the clubs. If I'm being honest,
great,
I'm also Dominican, so a little bachata merengue here and there. Like we having
whole
fun.
lot. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, I understand. I used to be about that life. I used
Yeah,
to. I
I'm no
used to.
longer about that life either,
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
you
Yes.
know, we had our fun. But man, it's funny. New York, same thing for me. I started looking into it the year you ran your virtual. I,
Hmm.
to make a long story short, man, it was 2020. Like you, I hated the marathon when I was in New York because it's like, man, I can't get nowhere. Traffic is crazy.
Right.
Like I knew nothing in my circle of like this is how you train. Or I did a
Right.
marathon. It was like, what? Who runs? No, how long?
26 miles, never. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, I couldn't even fathom 26 miles some years ago. But point being, I'm like, oh man, I want to do the New York Marathon. For some reason, in COVID, I started. I think COVID shut down. I was in Florida at the time. Us New Yorkers, we either stay in New York or we go to Florida. Ain't no other states exist apparently.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware. I get recruited. I get recruited to
There
Florida
you
every now and then. I'm like, stop. Not no. I get
go.
it. I know.
Stop the nonsense. But
Yeah, stop.
I had told my dad like, hey, I'm gonna run the New York Marathon one day, just randomly. I started getting into running. COVID gyms were closed for the short stint. Florida even closed anything. And I'm like, I'm gonna sign up. I start looking. I'm like, wait, there's a lottery. What? How? 9+1. I'm like, how do I? So it took me 2 years to get in. I ran my first marathon and New York Marathon in 23, but kind of similar story where I was like, I didn't know anything about marathon in New York. I just thought hey, New York, sign up, start the line, go.
Yeah, yeah. I
uh,
had no idea. I had no
I
idea.
had no idea. But man, talking about racing now, since we're talking about you've been racing for quite a while, you've done the 6-star majors, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I did 6. I finished last year, 2024. Yeah.
so you finished. What was your favorite one, man?
I mean, I'm gonna say obviously New York is my
Okay.
favorite race. It's the hardest race. I think it's the hardest course and everything like that. But that's my favorite one. I could talk forever about that. outside of that, I would say Tokyo easily,
Really? Oh,
but yes, but because I all of them, I turn them into trips and
same.
experiences. Everything about Tokyo was like trip of a lifetime. You
Yeah.
know, the race was good too. I will say there's definitely a lot of the parts of the course that are quiet, and even where there are people, it's not the same loud, obnoxious cheering
Of
that
New
we
York.
do in New York. It's like a lot more subdued, or like, okay, like it's kind of
Yeah.
kind of chill. So if that's what you need, if that's what you consider like a good race, then you maybe wouldn't love that. But the whole experience of being in Japan, easily the best. Easily the best. The other ones are great. It doesn't take anything away, but yeah, Tokyo. If I could do another one again, I would love to do Tokyo again. But
Tokyo.
I don't plan to do the majors again, other than New York. I don't plan to do them again.
Yeah, I could relate to the Tokyo. I went to Tokyo and a lot of Japan for 2.5 weeks in March this year.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
funny enough, I landed the day of the marathon this year.
Oh,
I didn't do the race because lotteries is like getting harder and harder every day.
yes,
But I
sure.
always wanted to go to Japan, and man, talking about the trips, I make all my races trips at this point. Like I'm already planning next year with the missus.
Yep, yep,
Like,
yep.
hey, what we want to fly to, for me is the race, and then we can enjoy after.
Exactly,
uh,
exactly.
that's how you sneak it in. Hey, babe, we're gonna go here.
No, for sure. I mean, my wife loves it. She's got to go to all.
Okay,
She went to all of them with me. London, Berlin's
that's
like
dope, man.
she wouldn't have been to. We weren't planning to go to London. We weren't planning to go to Tokyo. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No, man, Japan was awesome. The food, the culture, man, the stuff the onsen. Oh my god, the onsen.
We we didn't do the onsen. We looked
Oh,
it up. So my wife has probably, I don't even know. I should know. My wife has a bunch of tattoos,
okay.
and we looked at all of this, and it says like it's really frowned upon. I mean, she got like all in the arm.
Yeah,
So it was very much like we can't really do that. So yeah, we didn't,
I did see
as
that.
much as I wanted to. Yeah.
What I found there, Tokyo, you'll be okay. Obviously, some spots won't let you, but like some of the hotels will let you onsen regardless of tattoo. They just have like a certain time frame. Like, hey, if you have
Got you.
tattoos, you can.
Got you.
But
Got you.
once you leave Tokyo, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
crazy, but hey,
I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. I'll disagree with you there. I
okay.
think we have to realize we are Americans. We're
Yes.
Americans, whether you're Dominican or whatever, we're
No,
Americans. We're
I get it. Yep.
probably
I grew up
right.
here.
So we assume that other places have the same rules that we do and the same freedoms that
Yes.
we do. But you realize that's not the case. And it
No,
doesn't
it's
mean
not.
that they're crazy. It doesn't mean that they're crazy. It might mean that we're crazy. That we allow a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
that other places won't allow. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is different. I think it's
I
different.
agree
They're
with
like,
you. I just say that
you know,
the crazy from the perspective of like Japan kind of had, and I understand why too. Like I love the culture of Japan just because of how different and the respect and everything. Given that they had so many tattoos with like yakuza and all that, which is also the reason they don't want it.
right, right. Like,
They had a
no,
whole culture of tattoos, and now they don't. So I get why. I guess that's why I say crazy because they kind of did have it in their country. But fair point,
yes,
man. Um,
yeah.
other than the majors, have you done? I'm sure because I'm looking at all these medals here. Like, what other races have you done that you like as well?
I guess you're speaking marathon specifically, or just
Like,
any other
you,
races.
you can go anything, yeah.
So I think I've outside of the majors, I've done two non-majors,
Okay,
which is I did Jersey City
okay,
Marathon this past April, and I did Los Angeles 2024.
okay.
So those are two non-majors that I did, and enjoyed. I really enjoyed Jersey City. I'm gonna do Jersey City again in 2026, and I haven't announced it yet. So you got a
Exclusive.
exclusive. Yeah, you got an exclusive here. So yeah, I'll be running 2026 Jersey City. But yeah, Los Angeles was cool too. It's all of the races all races seem to be getting bigger because
Oh
running
yeah,
is just
100%.
getting increasingly popular. So like Jersey City this year there's a half marathon and the full at the same time. So like the first half of the race is, a little bit of traffic. And then at the halfway point, it's, not as many people in my group. So I do imagine though 2026 there's going to be more people
Yeah,
because you
agreed.
can't get it. You realize you can't. Everybody wants. Not I wouldn't say everybody. A lot of people want to do the world majors, but they realize it's hard. So you kind of have to settle for these other races that and could end up being a even better experience. And I
Yeah,
thought Jersey City was an amazing experience. It's not a world major experience, but it's a great experience,
yeah.
So yeah, I'll be doing that again. In April, it's a fast race. It's
It's a
very
spring one, right?
accessible. I'm doing it because like I don't have to get a flight and a hotel and spend thousands of dollars to get there, and I
Yeah.
can get my race, in the spring. And then I'm gonna do New York again. As long as I can do New York, I'm gonna have this streak of doing New York. But in November, but I would like to have one in the spring as well. Yeah.
Okay. So you often do like a spring fall race, I take it, and from what I've gathered.
Yes, and I think 2023 is when I started that like spring, fall, spring, fall, spring,
Okay.
fall. Yeah,
How many times you've done NYC now?
six. Yeah, six.
Man,
From 2020 to 2025 every year. Yeah, that's 21. No, that's 22. This is 24. 20, yeah. So 2020 to 2025, and I do the 9+1, so I'm in for
okay, no,
2026.
I was about
And
to
then
ask.
yeah, I'm in for 2026. And then I gotta find my 9 races next year so I can do 2027. I think I have like 3, but I gotta get another 6. So
What
we'll
keeps
do
you
that.
going back? I mean, as a New Yorker and the love of the race, so far I've done 2 of the majors so far, and I might be biased forever even after I do all of them. The vibes in New York, man, is insane for the marathon. But what
Yeah.
keeps you like, other than the vibes, what keeps you going back? Because you're doing it back to back, 5+ now, going
Well, what do you?
6.
I don't even. I don't. I'm not sure if I understand the question. I'm not sure if I understand the question. What's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite restaurant?
Oh man, I can't give you a favorite restaurant. There's so much good
Favorite
food.
restaurant you got? What's your favorite meal? What's your favorite meal?
It's got to be mom's cooking, to be honest with you. But like,
Mom's cooking. Okay, why do you keep going back to mom's cooking? You'd be like, what kind of question is that? Because it's the
fair
best.
enough.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Ask it that
what
way.
are we talking about?
I get
What,
what you
wait, why
mean,
are you
but like,
asking? You know why? Because New York City is the best marathon. So why am I keep going back? Because it's the best.
I
Like,
figured
what are
here's
we
why I bring it
talking
up.
about?
You've done this race, right? And for others listening to this, right? Or if you haven't done New York, here's a lowdown. The vibes are amazing. 100% with Patrick here. The food is insane. Hell, even if I have friends who go to New York, not even to race, just for the vibes of the weekend, which is also fun. What I'm
Yes.
getting at though is the race ain't the easiest race. You just said it yourself earlier.
It's
It's the
not.
hardest
It's
race.
not. It's not the easiest race. But let me tell you something. I think. I think it is the perfect first
Okay.
marathon. It's the perfect first marathon
Okay.
because it is actually quite difficult, and it'll show you what a real marathon is.
Okay.
I don't think a flat marathon is a great first experience. And I'll tell you why. Say you
Yeah.
run Chicago for your first race or whatever flat marathon for your first race. And you do whatever you make whatever goal. I just want to finish. I want to have whatever time. That's fine. And you do that. And then you say, I want to run another marathon. And next one is a hilly marathon. You might compare your performance from that flat race, which was your first
Yeah.
one.
100%.
You train, you get better, you get faster, you get stronger, you do this hilly marathon, and maybe do worse than you did in your first one. Because there's night and day difference between flat and like a hilly race. So then it's like, man, why did I do all this training? Why did I go through all this stuff when I didn't have like a better time? When it's like, that's not the point of it. There's a difference. Even like you have elites, right? You have elites who go and they try to they run New York City every year, every couple of years. They're not going to PR. They're trying to race though. Their goal is like, I'm going to go against the best, and the best go to New York. So even though my elite racer, their PR might be a 205, they know they're going to go to New York and maybe run a 208 or a 209. even on
Yeah.
their best day, best scenario, that's not what it's about. But it's about the experience. And for me, it's like, okay, can I run New York better than I ran New York last year? Not
Right.
necessarily
The
comparing New
PR.
York to my PR, because that's still, it's just night and day difference. But the actual running experience, I think, yeah, having like these hilly and maybe challenging courses is really what I think marathoning is about. Is can you get through these challenges? And that's just way different having flat versus hilly and all of that stuff. But the people on the course, the celebration, the all that makes up for it. All of that makes up for it.
No, I could tell you for sure when I did New York, I wouldn't have finished without the crowd because it was my first.
Yes.
I did suffer after mile 15. But man, when people shouting your name just because you got a bib on or they pick on the one hat you wear and then you just, I've said it a couple times on this. I'll say it to anyone who wants to do New York. I felt like an Olympian, as close as you can get to without being an actual Olympian, because people call you out like, "Come on, man!" They'll like get on course with you real quick, which is not supposed to, but whatever. It's New York.
It's New York. It's New
You get
York.
there,
It's
you know.
different. It's different,
It's
man.
definitely
It's
different.
different.
I've had people share all the majors, and they almost always fall back to New York. The European fall to like London because apparently a similar vibe. I doubt is the same as New York. Low bias there, but the crowd is big.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say the crowd is big. I mean, also even the not audience, the like field size is similar too. So like
Yeah,
it's the last 2-3 years they keep breaking the world record.
yeah,
London and New York, it's like London did 54,000 and New York comes back does 55. Then London does 56, and now New York is like, all right, watch this. I think we did 59, almost 60,000 this year.
yeah. I
So
saw that.
London is like, yo, are we really about to have? Because we have 59 people finish, 59,000 finish.
Yeah,
So that means, yo, we probably had a good almost 70,000 start,
that's
which is
crazy.
a mess. Like they got it. There has to be a limit. There has to, it's a mess. So, but yeah, no, New York is there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it, and you probably won't PR. You can, but you probably
Yeah.
won't. But that's not what it's about.
What's been your best race like of all the marathons you raced where you felt vibes and like it went perfect? Like what was that like? What race was it?
It was Jersey City marathon
Okay.
this year, so in April, and I ran a 3:12,
Okay.
59. So
Congrats, man.
that was a PR by 12 minutes. Prior to
Whoa.
that was 3:24. And the 3:24 was from Chicago 2024, so like 6 months before.
Yeah.
So in 6 months we get 12 minutes off, and Chicago is a flat course as well. But everything went well. The one thing, my goal was actually sub 310, and I was running with the 310 pacer, the 310 pack, up until about mile 21. Yeah, about mile 21. So my hamstrings are, it's not even an injury, it's just a weakness of mine. And I need to do more strength training. That's usually kind of what I can feel tighten up. And then
Yeah.
I kind of have to limp a little bit to get it to go away, but then I
Okay.
slow down. So anyway, that the race went as perfect as it possibly could, and I got a 3:12:59, just under 3:13. I was very happy with that. But like, yeah, the only difference is like if I would have had stronger hamstrings, I think I would have been under
It's right on
310.
there.
But otherwise, the weather was perfect. I think the course is great, and the way that they have it is it's a two loop course. As I mentioned, there's a half marathon and a full, but the second loop is not identical. Imagine, it's the
Oh,
best way to
okay.
describe it is like if you go like clockwise for the first one, you go counterclockwise for the second one, for the second loop. So you're not experiencing it the same way. You're
Yeah.
looking the opposite way. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that was my best race. That was my best marathon, and it's crazy to say because it was my fastest one. It literally felt the easiest. That was, that felt
Amazing.
as
Yeah.
my easiest race, even though it was my fastest race. Where some of these races, like I did New York, I did 3:29 in New York this past November, and that was the second half. I was like, yo, can we finish? Like somebody pick me up. Like I was ready to, but the 312 was easy. So I think it just shows you your preparation and all that. And sometimes it comes down to how you feel on the day. But
Yeah.
yeah, Jersey City was great, and I've had other great races that weren't marathons. Like now, I love 5K and 10K. I'm trying to get more into. Prior to this, I really disliked 10K. I felt like it was a weird distance because like
Hmm.
you have to run fast, but it's not really that short of a race. So
Hmm.
I don't really know. I didn't really know what pace to do. So yeah, but now trying to do a lot more of the quote unquote
That's
shorter
short.
races, just less than the big ones. Yeah.
Okay. It's funny you say that. Like 10K is something I've gotten recently into. I like 10K, 5K, no.
Mm,
So,
mm.
but it is my weakness and something I'm working on now. So it's funny to hear that. Like I could endurance all day, the speed work, oh boy. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
touching
10K
on
is
that,
tough.
you find it tough.
I find it tough because so it's in a weird awkward spot, right? Because like you imagine you have your marathon time and you probably know, oh, this is my marathon time, this is what I could go and do for 26 miles, right?
Yeah,
And then right, that's like whatever it is. Your 5K time, your 5K pace is probably significantly faster than your marathon pace, right? Because you're doing that for, let's just say 20 something, 20-ish minutes. For me,
yeah,
I'm like 19 minutes and change, right? So it's very fast, but I know that it's going to be over in 19 minutes and change.
yeah,
So, even though I'm uncomfortable, like from minute 12, I'm like, I'm hurting, but
yeah.
I kind of enjoy that because it's like a different kind of adrenaline. Like I know that
100%.
I'm exerting myself, I'm pushing myself, but it's gonna be over soon. We got 1 mile left to go and we good. 10K is different because it's like I know I'm supposed to be kind of close to that 5K. It's way closer to 5K than it is
Yeah. Then
to a
like a half
marathon,
or
right?
something. Yeah.
But you could get yourself like into that no man's land where you're on mile 4 and you're like, yo, I ran too fast. Now what do I do? I still got 2 miles. I can't go marathon pace because that's
Yeah.
crazy, right? So it's like a weird. I haven't figured that out. I haven't figured out what it's supposed to be. So my 10K pace, it is in between, but it's actually now I think it's like right between. Um, it's right between my 5K and my marathon pace, where I think it should be closer to the 5K. It really should be a lot closer to the 5K.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to
So
be like typically. Do you do a lot of halves by any chance?
I do, yes. I probably do 2 or 3 halves in a year, and
Yeah.
my 10K historically has been like the same as my half pace, which doesn't really make
That's why
sense.
I thought so.
That's why I'm like it's weird. Like I even my 10 mile, like I do the Bronx 10 mile, and the 10 mile I did it faster than my 10K pace. But the 10 so this past October, I think it was October. I did a 10K. Oh no, it was November. It was November. I did a 10K and I finally beat my half marathon pace. Which now I'm like I know that if I were to go do a half marathon, I'd probably beat the 10K pace, which is good. Which is good.
Yeah,
We got
it's a
to do
good
that.
problem.
Yeah, yeah,
I saw you ran. I think it's right around this time you was describing that race. You ran 5 races in 10 days, like soon after like your
yeah,
marathon.
yeah. Well, it was about a month after. It was about a month after, so not soon after, but yeah, about a month after. Mhm.
What made you do that? I think I saw you said you felt like you had more on the table. What was
Uh,
unfinished?
yeah. Well, I know. I want to essentially like a little chuckle there. I think there's a lot of logic and reason behind this. So during your marathon block, right? So my marathon block is typically 16 weeks. You're never really fresh. So like if I want to do a race, if I want to do a 5K week 9 of my marathon block, I probably did 65 miles that week. And like, it's not going to be my best 5K because I ran so many miles that week, right? Whereas over the last couple of years, right, I run New York City first week of November. I'll take off a week like of no running at all. And then I'll pick up like running 30% of like what I was running in my peak. So like I'm running 25, 30 miles a week or whatever the case is compared to like 70 at my peak. So because now I've recovered from the marathon, I'm fresh. I'm not beat up from doing all of these workouts and all of these long runs, but I still have a lot of that like lingering fitness that I built in that 16-week block. So it's like, okay, let me go see what I could do in a 5K now that I only ran 20 miles this week. I go do that, PR. Like to me, it feels like almost guaranteed because like I'm fresh. It's like a month removed. So that was the same thing. And with as I was talking about, I love the 5K and getting into 10K now. Is I could run a 5K today. If there was another 5K coming up in 3-4 days, I feel like I could go sign that up and I could try. I wouldn't say I would go and like PR again, but I could try because in the couple of days I could recover from doing
Yeah.
that 3 mile. It was a hard effort, but it was only like 3 miles.
Yeah, it's not gonna
So
like yeah.
correct. So as I see the calendar, there's like these different races that are lined up in my head. I'm like, I know I could PR on that. This is so I got my PR on the 5K. And then I got my PR in the 1 mile and in the 10K. And there was one other 5K that I did the first race of the five. It was like a little bit hilly of a 5K. I didn't think I was going to PR there, and I didn't. That was fine. But then followed that up with the 10K, and that was a 6:39 pace. That beat my 10K PR by 58 seconds, I think, from earlier this year at the Queens 10K. So like very happy with that. And the 1 mile was by 2 seconds technically. The 5K then was by 13. So, all of it was, like I said, it wasn't this crazy, he's running all these races. I know people who will do like 3 marathons in a week, or like I'm gonna do 7 marathons in 7 days.
Seven, that kind of
That's
stuff.
wild. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But like you could look at those 5 races in 10 days. Probably the only runs I did in the 10 days. I wasn't doing anything else outside. I was like, I'm chilling. I'm going back, and literally I'm going to the next race feeling great. Like today we're gonna have a great day, and I did. So that's how it worked.
I was curious, and you explained that well. Like, how were you recovering from the marathon to then this race and then the next race? And it's just like, okay, so the mileage is kind of low, and you're just using the fitness that
Yeah,
you
mileage is super low. Super low. Yeah. So
Okay.
good.
What's your training like? Everyone has a different approach, man. You go online nowadays. There's like 30 million ways to train nowadays. What's your style of training for, just in general year round? Obviously, you do marathons, you do 5Ks, 10Ks, halves. You basically run year round.
Yeah. So I would say my running is very much revolves around my marathon training blocks. And
Okay.
because I have been doing a spring and a fall marathon in like back to back years, that means there's like 16 weeks that I have to train for that spring race, and then 16 weeks I have to train for that fall race. That looks relatively the same. We're going to build up to, a peak of 65, 70 miles a week in that training block. And then go do the race. But outside of that, so that's 32 weeks, right? 16, 16. You got another 20 weeks left in the year. In that time, I'm kind of chilling. Like I'm running, but like I'm running almost just for exercise. I don't really go to I have a little garage gym that I put together, but like I'm not going and lifting for 2 hours. So
Okay.
if I want to just have a little bit of fitness, like okay, I'll do 5 miles 5 times a week, maybe 4 times a week. I'll do like 5 miles, and I'll go do like a little longish run, 8 miles or 10 miles or something like that. So that'll work out to, in those times where I'm not training, I'm not in a training block, I'm maybe doing 25 to 30 miles a week. And that's just to maintain. And if I do some speed session, I'm not doing 20 by 400 meters. I may be like doing all right, let me do 6 by 800 meters. A kind of
Okay.
hard-ish effort, but trying to I'm not trying to like
EO2 or
achieve
whatever.
anything. It's like, yeah, I'm really just trying to get somewhat of a I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to get my heart rate up. I'm trying to feel like I did something hard today, but I'm not really measuring and all that stuff. So
Are
that's
you
kind
going
of how I
mostly
do
by
it.
feel? It kind of sounds like that.
No, I'll definitely put paces. I'll put
Okay.
paces in the watch, but I'll put like a pace where it's like I know that I can do this, and I know that this is a pace that is kind of the difficulty that I want. So
Okay.
like today, right? I did 10 miles. It was 5 miles easy, then 3 by 1K, and the 1Ks I put in at around between 5K and 10K pace. So these are paces I know that I can run a race in a 5K, and I can do
Yeah.
5K straight. I'm only doing it for 1K. So it's like it's hard, but this is not some I can't hit the pace. I'm
Yeah.
breathing hard after and all that, and it's like, okay, I felt like I did something today, but yeah, not a ton of science. Just how much work, how much like exertion or effort do I want to feel, and it depends on what I have going on.
No, it sounds like very smart, intuitive. Nonetheless, I mean, most runners, I think you know a lot, right? Like they kind of go too hard. It's kind of a
Some
default. What's the sexy speed workout, And it's like you're doing a 1K rep, and it's like, okay, I'm dying after this 1K rep, and then the next one, I'm dying again.
No, yeah. I mean, if that's what people want, that's fine. I think everybody got a different approach. Everybody,
Exactly. 100%.
whatever their goal is. But I think for my goals, usually my plan is usually appropriate for what the goal is.
100%. What would you attribute like your success to then? Like, is it the speed work, just intuitive running? 16 weeks hard, and then relaxing, enjoying life. Um,
I think it's just a good balance, and I think I do the level of work that's appropriate for the goal. I think that's generally so. If anybody like, because you said your success, right? My goal was a 310 in Jersey City, and I didn't hit that goal. I did 3:12:59. That was still successful
yeah,
because it was still the best marathon I ever had. So I can't sit here and say like, oh, I had a bad race, but it wasn't. I didn't hit the goal, and that's fine. But I think like the 16 weeks were I succeeded. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in the 16 weeks. So I don't feel like when I get to race day, I don't feel like this is crazy for me to go and attempt to do this. And like there's going to be a time where I go and I'm, going to attempt to do a sub 3, and the only way I'm going to do that is if get to the line and I feel like I did what was required for me to possibly achieve this sub 3 today. So like it running, a lot of it is science. I hate to say it, a lot of it is like people can talk about feel all they want, but a lot of it is science. There's a certain number of miles, there's a certain number of paces that you have to do at a specific, mileage that will generally equate to a race result. So I typically try to look at that as opposed to just hyping myself up and thinking I can do this, I
you
can
can
do this. Is
go all
like,
out. Yeah,
no matter what I tell myself, I wasn't about to run a sub 3 in New York. It don't matter what kind of faith, I had or determination. It wasn't going to happen because the work that I put in did not reflect that. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I
how it
mean,
feels. Like I don't so much focus on the goal. It's like I know that I need to hit this mileage in these weeks, and if I can do that, then I'm good. But that's harder than the race. That's harder than the race. Like getting 70, like doing 70-mile weeks is harder than a race. And it's not even so much the effort that goes into it, but it's like for a 70-mile week, I have to run a couple doubles throughout the week. There's probably like 2 days where I'm running maybe 8 miles in the morning and then another 6 in the evening so that I can make that 70 miles that week. So it's like, that's the hard part. The hard part is like, how do you do all of the, how do you actually do all the work while having a job, while having a wife, while having a baby, while having dogs, while having whatever? And so that's the hard part. That's the hard part. So we'll
No, man.
see what the next block is. And it's like, I'll have the goal, but I know it's so much. I need to do the work to get there. And I hope that I'm able to do the work.
No, 100%, man. I couldn't agree more. I think my most recent race, like I had success because I was able to kind of forget a little bit of like, hey, here's the tango, just put in the work and like follow the process, if you will. Like just
Yeah.
today we gotta go out there. This is how long we're running, and worry about today. Worry about the time later when the day hits.
Yeah.
And just putting that work in.
Is weeks and months. It's like you want to tell yourself, I want to have a good week. I want to have a good week. Did you have a good week? Whatever that means to you. Did you hit your 30 miles?
Yeah,
Did you hit your 60 miles? Did you have a good
exactly.
week? Okay, great. Now have another good week, and so you can say, did you have a good month? Did you have a good month? Yeah, hopefully you had a good month. You can have it because you can have a bad day. That's perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
that's
Some
fine. Yeah.
days I can't do it, but like you can have a bad day and still have a good week. You can have a bad week, still have a good month. So that's what it's about.
How do since you're a certified nutrition coach, how does the food come into play? We're talking science now. Like, do you track, or you just go off like I need to eat and feel?
So food like regular meals, I'm not tracking
Okay.
calories. I'm not tracking like grams of protein or because like it's just I know myself. My weight doesn't fluctuate that much. My need and my like appetite fluctuates a lot depending on what's going on. When I'm in the 65, 70 mile week, yo, this is not enough food in the Bronx. Like, it's literally not enough food like in
Mentioned in the
existence.
prompt.
It's literally, yo, they gotta bring in the truck. They gotta bring in
Yeah,
the
bring it
ship.
here.
Just bring in the bags of rice. We need the bags of rice. So, I would say it's very much by feel, but I overdo it. Like, intentionally, I snack kind of all day, so I have things around that feel like what I need. So prior to me running, it's carbs, some type of, I have bars, granola bars, I have oatmeal, bagels, whatever the case is. It's not all of these like it's not all supplements. Like
Yeah,
people who just do so, you don't need that. You can actually get most of what you need from real food.
yeah.
So like I'll eat a lot and I'll try to primarily have rice, pastas, and all that stuff. And then after like a hard effort is when I'll try to have some sort of protein. But even I'm not measuring like how many grams of chicken breast it is or whatever the case is. Like protein is enough. And I'm a big guy, so naturally I need to have a lot of food. So like I feel satisfied. Okay, we're good. And then where like the sports nutrition stuff, that where that comes into play is really for the like particulars of like pre-run or pre-workout, pre-race, and like recovery stuff. That's where I get kind of nerdy with it. I don't know how much content you consume or like how much science you listen to, but there's a lot of science into like your carbohydrate intake and like how that can influence
I'll
like a
put it
good
this way: I read
performance
the
in a
studies and
race.
probably too much, so I like nerd out off stuff of that. So
So and that's me. Like I watch so much YouTube about like elites who are running races and all that and what their goals are for how much they're consuming. Some of these pros are trying to take in 100
130, yeah,
130 grams per hour, right? So, and this is someone who, if they're doing 2 hour and change race, Joe Klecker, I think ran like a 208 or a 209 in New York. He was trying to do 175 grams per hour.
that's insane. Yeah,
Is it though? Is it? It's like it sounds insane, right? But when you realize it's like it's that that is to get you to the potential maximum level of performance.
yep, yep.
So it's very much like if someone were to tell you, all right, yo, how much gas do I need to get to like from New York to wherever? And they tell
Canada
you,
or
yo,
something.
yeah, Canada's 50 gallons and they $4 a gallon. So you're like, what? That's yo, you want to drive to Canada? That's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, what do you are like? What's crazy about that? That's how, like, your body burns X amount per hour, so you need to put in X amount per hour. That's what it is. If somebody was like, yo, that's crazy. Now I'm gonna get a car. No, see this. Now you start thinking about getting a car that you is better on gas or getting an electric car. No, no, bro. It is what it is.
It,
So for me, it's I find it like now it's an equation. Like, oh, okay, I'm trying to do 120 grams per hour. How can I get there? Right? Because like a Morton gel is like 25 grams of carbs. There's the Morton 160 gel. That's 40
yeah.
grams of carbs. And then Science and Sport, same thing. They have like the regular one is 25 grams. They have the beta fuel is 40. So now I'm doing, okay, if I do a gel every 20 minutes, 40, and then a 25, that'll get me to 105. So I'm doing a lot of that. Also, like, how much do I want to take in? What am I drinking? Like, am I drinking Gatorade on the course? Am I drinking something else? So a lot of it is fun, experiential, and then seeing what gets me to the best performance and feeling good at the end. Because I think you'll have a lot of people who maybe are faster than me and all that stuff. And we're like, I ran 12 miles with no water and no gels. And it's like, this is not a who can drink the least contest. This
Yeah.
is not a who can eat the least gels. That's not what it is at all. It's like, I probably feel better after my run the next day because I wasn't going in like debt basically with my body. I wasn't going into like a caloric deficit, into like a glycogen deficit, because I was taking it in as I was performing. Whereas like finishing on empty, I'm not finishing on empty. That's a little bit of a difference. So I did the certification because, one, I also do a lot of content for the feed, which is like the number one marketplace for sports nutrition and sports tools and all that. So out here, so like it's to better inform and give me actual credibility to
like
the
that,
things
yeah.
that I'm talking about. But then for my own performance as well, it's like I'm trying new gels, I'm trying new products all the time, because like, while Morton might be good, Science and Sport might be good, that doesn't mean that there's can't be something better, right? So it's like I'm constantly exploring and seeing what tastes better, what feels better, maybe what's cheaper too, because there's a lot of that that goes into play. But just being a nerd in the running space, I get to experience and just try out different things.
I joke about this with my friends. There's two types of runners, in my opinion, right? And I'm going to use some elites to compare this. There's the Kelvin Kiptons, and then there's the Eliud Kipchoge's, right? I'm sure you've seen this because it sounds like we're both into the running space and like they're nerding
Mm-hmm.
out on stuff.
Yes.
You got the runner that like, hey, what's the time? I'm out the door. I'm going this pace and going all out effort, all heart. Then you got the Eliud Kipchoge's. How much gel I need, how much carbs I need, the very analytical, like kind of engineer. Like if you look even at our American runners, Connor Mance versus like say a Clayton Young, like Clayton's like, my heart temperature is this, my heart is this.
Doing a lot. Doing a lot. Doing a lot, bro. Clayton,
like,
I love Clayton doing a lot, bro. Yes, facts.
So
Connor's like, yo, I don't care, bro. Connor's like, yo, give me whatever pair of Air Force Ones. I'm about to go run a 204.
Literally.
I'm good. No, facts.
Nike should have them in the Air Force Ones, man. The fact that I saw this man running Vomeros, the 18s are heavy as hell and doing 20 miles, 5-something pace, and then narrowing down to his marathon pace for the last 4, 5, 6, it is insane to me. And then you have other runners who are like, I need this plate this way and this clothes this way.
Listen, there's a reason why they're the elites and we are mortals, so it's wild.
No, man, it's fun, man. I find it fun. There's a good balance in between both, but I definitely like sometimes nerd out as well. And then my last training block, I did the opposite. Like, let me just run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's all testing out. Like, so there's one race called Project 13.1. Are you familiar? So
I feel like I've heard of it, but maybe.
Okay, so it's in March up here, but it's in Rockland. So like,
yes, okay, I know the one.
Just past, like, this maybe an hour from Manhattan, like 30 minutes from me in the Bronx. There's a lake, Rockland Lake State Park, that's like just under 3 miles, like 2.9 miles, so just under 5K. They do a half marathon there. which
Got
is
it.
basically a time trial. So the slowest pace group that they have is 1 hour 30 minutes. And
Oof.
then they have people in the front who I think are like 64, 65 minutes. So 104, 105. And this is like a time trial race. So it's flat. You're just doing loops with your pacer to try to hit your time. And it's like a certified course. It's a real course.
Yeah.
I did this race in March of this year. I ran 128. I went with the 130 pacer. I ran 128. But the great experience about this race, which most races don't have, is they allow you to make your own bottle station. So they have a
That's
table
cool. Yeah.
out of one portion of the course because you're passing the table 4 times in the race because you're doing 4 loops. So instead of, having the cup of Gatorade or a cup of water, you could put whatever, and the elites, right? They are very particular. One person wants their more in, drink mix. Somebody else wants a carb drink or electrolyte. So I tweaked around with the stuff that I wanted to have because I can have my bottle. I can hold on to the bottle as much as I want. And that's, I think, helped me to get to the PR, which is 128.48, I think. I'll be
Yeah.
running that race again in March,
Okay.
so in like 4 months, 3 months from now. And yeah, with that, we're gonna try to maybe get the 126, maybe 125. But it sets you up and it allows you to experience. Like if I were running New York and I knew I could have my own bottle of whatever I wanted
Yeah.
every 5K, I wouldn't say I'd have a better race, but I would treat my fueling differently because maybe I don't need to have as many gels if I have, like, my carb
You
drink
get bottles with
more.
carbs. Yeah.
I would probably do more bottles of carbs. So yeah, that is a fun experience, and it also lets you run with people who are way faster than you. So that I think helps. They drag you along, and you end up running faster too. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to again.
That's gonna be fun, man. I think a year or two ago, funny enough, that friend of mine I mentioned that knows Julia Ali, he kind of sent me a link to it, and I was like, I don't know, I got something planned for the spring, and I've heard great
Mm-hmm.
things. Once you said Rockland, I was like, oh, I know the one.
Yes, yes. So that's the half. They have a full a week
Yeah,
after that too. And that's for, like, when I tell you, there's people who are trying to, for the full, it's people who are trying to qualify for the Olympic trials.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of people trying to run sub two. I think the men now is 2:16,
Yeah,
and women's time is 2:37. So you'll have a lot of people doing that. Tomorrow, there's a similar thing, I think,
marathon
in
project, right?
Arizona. Marathon, yeah, marathon project is the same setup, same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people trying to OTQ. Talking
Yep.
about
Yep.
running with people, you run a lot of NYC clubs and sharing the NYC culture and clubs out there in NYC. You shared on your Instagram, like, um, what's some of the I guess experience for those not from New York? Like, what are you seeing out there that's common in the NYC clubs? What's the culture like? For those non-New Yorkers out there that you see from the NYC clubs.
Um, for someone not in New York, and I don't even say this as like, oh, New York is like the best place ever kind of thing. But New York is a different experience. Like, New York is very condensed. It's very
Yeah,
tight. And like, even if someone lives in Brooklyn, someone lives in Manhattan, it's like you might see them pretty frequently because, like, we're very much in the same circles in the same spots. So with going around to different run clubs, it's been a cool experience. You'll see I think most of them are way more similar than they probably want to admit or think. A lot of them are, well, generally speaking, you don't have like a bunch of elites who are running. It's people who are socially getting together. And with any group, you're going to have, a breakdown. There's some people who are in the front who are faster, most people are in the middle. And you have some people who are in the back who are, maybe first time runners who are social runners, not trying to race, not even thinking about a marathon or even a 5K. It's like, no, I'm going to do this Wednesday night 5K in Central Park with my friends. I'm not running at all outside of this, but I love to do this. So we have a lot of groups. I think officially there's like over 400 run clubs that are registered with New York Roadrunners.
sheesh.
Official.
Okay.
There is a countless number of unregistered clubs too, which doesn't make them any less of a club, right? They have a leader, they have frequent meetups. They have probably rules and regulations, even a membership, but just not registered like with New York Roadrunners. And they come up all the time. They make new clubs all the time. And I think a lot of it, most of it, is people who are maybe seeing a need in their own community. That's something that I've heard from a lot of the leaders is, even like Miguel from Milestyle, right? I think they've now been around for 6 years, going on 7 years. And he said he started Milestyle because he was living in the Bronx. And he said there were no run clubs. So I wanted to start a run club, not knowing that Boogie Down Bronx Runners had already started. He was just unaware of it, right? A lot of it is a lack of awareness that something else is going on, which is an issue, right? But I think now with the prevalence of social media, Instagram, TikTok, even I'm not on TikTok, but I know TikTok does, numbers with the run club stuff. But people realize, like, in my community, and your community can mean anything, right? It doesn't necessarily mean Brooklyn. Brooklyn is such a huge place. It could mean this one small nook in Bushwick or
Yeah,
in whatever,
Williamsburg,
Sheepshead
Leopard.
Bay. Like, I live in Sheepshead Bay. We don't have a run club in Sheepshead Bay, so I'm going to make Sheepshead Bay Runners. And now it serves your small local community for people within that 20 block radius or whatever the case is. Then now you can meet up, you can run. And that usually turns into other things too. You have like a day where y'all just go out and get a beer or get some pizza and do all that stuff. So I do see that humans, adults especially, are like increasingly social and craving social events that are not generally fueled by alcohol. Like, I drink, I'm gonna have me a couple of beers today, so this is not an anti-alcohol like speech or anything like that.
Yeah,
But in our 20s, I think a lot of the stuff was fueled by alcoholic events, which was it
100%.
served its purpose at the time.
Yeah,
But like now, people got jobs, people got
jobs, kids,
families, so it's
transportation.
like I can't link up. I can't link up with y'all to do shots. I can't. I just can't do that. Like, I'm gonna say that. Thanks. I'm good. I'm not doing that. But
Yeah,
you wanna link up to go run 3 miles? I'm down. You can even tell me, yo, we're gonna link up and do hot yoga. Sign me up.
I
You know what I'm
gotta work
saying?
out
Like,
anyway. No,
whatever
I do
whatever
that.
it is, link up, do hot yoga. We could link up and do a Peloton class. Like, people are increasingly looking for these kinds of like events where you
Yeah,
you find people who are like-minded, who have similar hobbies and passions and all that. So I think that is the general genesis to a lot of these run clubs, is just
yeah.
wanting to make
Fill a vote.
something, make an event, make a recurring meeting for a lot of people. um, and then some others, people there's, as we are humans, some people will have ulterior motives. Some people want to get free gear and free, whatever and all that, which is also fine too. I
Yeah,
make content. Most of it is not for free, but if that's your intent, to like start the club, to get bibs to races and all that,
yeah.
I just think like you'll find that it may not be as sustainable, if because that I think that can't be the end goal. That can't be the end goal, because then it's like, if you end up not getting that, if you end up not getting the
That's
shoe
right.
brand, if you're not getting the brand, if you're not getting the bid, it's like, well, are you going to be less motivated to do that?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think about that.
No, for sure. With so many clubs, I agree. Like, you got to have that community and people, like, growing, learning, hanging out, whatever the vibe is, culture first. What would you say is, like, as far as NYC, one of the misunderstandings of running in New York City? As a New Yorker myself, and people looking outside of it, like, you got big city, corners everywhere, blocks on blocks, lights, stop, go,
Yeah.
stop. Just to name one, but like, what are some of the misunderstandings about NYC run culture?
New Yorkers will find a way. That's what I would say. New
Yeah,
Yorkers will find a way. Again, for someone who is not from the city, who's somewhere, who like, not only we have so many people, we have so many cars, taxis,
yeah,
Ubers, all that stuff. If you're running in the streets, you're dodging a lot. You're jumping curbs and all that. But like New Yorkers will find a way. Even me, like I know I have a route, and I live in the Bronx, but I have
Yep.
a route that I know this is the route where I could maybe run into the least amount of lights, the least amount of cars, cross the least amount of streets. So this is going to be like the safest route for me to go run. So I figured that out. And even when I lived at the place I lived, 3 years ago, which is a different area of the Bronx, I figured out what was the best, safest route for me to do. And like people will figure it out. People will find a way. Sometimes it was like, I lived a mile from track. I would run my mile to the track, run 5 miles on the track, and then run the mile back home. So now it's like I got my 7 mile run in, but I really wasn't dodging a bunch of streets and a
Yeah,
bunch of
you got the,
cars.
yeah.
So yeah, New Yorkers will find a way. It gets cold, it gets snowy. But we used to this. Like if I wake up on Monday and it's snowing, I still gotta walk 10 minutes to the train. I'm not gonna call out. If it's pouring rain, I still got to walk 10 minutes to the rain. I'm not going to call out. So
Yeah.
what for me, running is
Trees
the
still
same
don't
thing.
work.
The train's still going to work. Like my boss is going to be like, what are you talking about? You can't come in the snow. And this is what it is. So with running, it's the same thing. I'm going to find a way. If I got to run tomorrow and it's raining, I get the rainproof, waterproof, whatever, put a hat, whatever I gotta do, and I'm gonna go figure it
Yeah.
out. So I think that's it. It's like how do you run with like these like hard conditions and all that? You figure it out because you're a New Yorker. You don't move to Florida. You just figure it out. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love
You
that.
just figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, couldn't say it any better, man. New Yorkers, I think, is a known fact, are resilient people. Period. You put it in a great way. If I landed in New York right now, for those listening, where should I start with run clubs?
Come to the Bronx Burners Wednesday night, 7 p.m. We are at Macombs Dam Park, which is literally across the street from Yankee Stadium. Take the 4,
Oh,
the D, or
okay.
the B train right there. That's a beautiful scenery. You literally have the stadium, and we run in the evening, so the lights are on in front of Gate 4. I think you'll find it's a great community for all ages. We got kids, we got senior citizens, we got everybody there, and there's a space for everybody. Very welcoming group. So I'd say come to the Bronx Burners. We'll have something for you for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
Figured I'd ask you that, given that you do a lot of NYC, clubs and stuff. Uh, on a more personal side, how you balance all this, man? You run a lot of miles. You got races all year round. You new dad. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Like,
Thanks.
how you making this work, man? Because it's got to be hard. Work New York trains. That's one thing I don't miss about New York. I will say the whole commute in 2, 3, 4 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I manage? I'm just figuring it out. My son is only 4 months, and I'm figuring it out. Like I said, I started like now I have a job that I have to go into the office 5 times a week. Before I was remote, I had a hybrid, so I was able to run kind of my lunch break, whatever the case is. But my situations have changed now, and priorities have changed. So how am I balancing this? I'm figuring it out. I could be very honest. I have not gotten it completely right, every day for the last 4 months. Sometimes it's like, all right, maybe I went for a run and I should have stayed home, or I went to whatever event and maybe I should have stayed home, or whatever the case is. So, how am I balancing it? I'm still learning the balance and figuring out what is the appropriate time for me to do kind of my thing. Cause like my thing is whatever I want to lump that in, right? If I want to hang out with my friends, if I want to go run, if I want, whatever it is that's like focused on me, there's like a time and a place for that. And then there's a time and a place where I have to work, and I can't move my work schedule around, right? So like I
Yeah.
have to be in the office X amount of time. And then that free time, I gotta balance and carve out for my son, for my wife, for my dogs, for whatever. I had to do laundry. I got to do all kind of stuff. So yeah, it's that I'm figuring it out, and I have not gotten it completely right yet, but we're trending in the right direction. So that's the best way I could put it.
Nah, man. Look, from an outside point of view, you crushing it, man. Because you didn't once at point say here, hey, I'm not doing my spring race or things falling apart. You just crushing. As you said, New Yorkers resilient.
Thank you, man. But I will say, that could be your opinion, but you ask my wife and she might tell you something different, right? And that's
Of
important
course.
too. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, do you have to? Because like, I'll tell you this. I am a pacer for Bandit running,
Okay.
their
Yep.
training program. They meet in Brooklyn on
Yep.
Saturday morning and Wednesday evening. So on Saturday morning, for the last, the 16 weeks leading up to the marathon, I'm driving 45 minutes an hour to Brooklyn, doing the run of maybe 2 hours. I'm coming back home. I'm getting home at 12, let's just say 12. And I was like, every morning I'm out the house, until 12.
Yeah.
My wife don't love that. You know what I'm saying? So like there is the perspective. It's like I'm committed. I stuck to it, but I don't know if I could. Not even I
Continue.
don't know. I can't do that for 16 weeks, twice a year. For 32 weeks out the year. I can't be out the house until 12. Coming home at 12 in the
Yeah.
afternoon. So maybe the solution is like I don't do that program, and I just again wake up at 6:30, do my run, because then I get back home I finish my run 8:30,
Yeah.
9 a.m. and I could
And
do
you go.
my family thing. So that's why I say it's like while it looks one way, the reality may not be exactly the same. And I appreciate my wife's perspective on all this, and not even her perspective, but it's like I realize that's like I can't. I'm not an elite runner, bro. Like I can't be giving up, my Saturday morning every week. So like, yeah, I am figuring out the balance and figuring out, when to go, when to skip, and all that. But we're just figuring it
I
out.
mean, that's real life, man. I appreciate you sharing that, man. I've been through some of that myself. Where like, hey, working at home, not working at home, like early morning, I'm trying to do a double. It's like, yo, I don't even see you no more. you know?
Right, right,
And you're
right.
like, this it goes on for a bit, and then you like start feeling the stresses and pressures, and like, you know what, baby, you're right. We haven't gone out in a while, and I've been like, I'm tired from all of it too. So it's just real,
Be
man.
tired, bro. Be tired, because this, like I said, I'm waking up earlier. I'm trying to go to bed early, but yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. I took my wife to dinner last night though. I told her,
There
and
you
this is me. I was like, yo, babe. I think on Tuesday I was like, yo, babe. Friday night, we're going out to dinner. She's like,
go.
well,
Get ready.
we're going. Friday, be ready. She wasn't ready, but I got home and then she got ready only when I got home. But I took her out to dinner. So yeah, it's figuring it
yeah.
out. It's figuring it out. But I will say this: like I do appreciate that I have a lot going on, because that's a good thing to have a lot going
100%.
on. Unfortunately, that means that sometimes I'm stretched one way where I should be going the other way, or I'm stretched thin, or whatever the case is. But I feel very fortunate to have a lot going on. I make content too, a lot of paid content. So like I got to wake up early to do that before I go to work. So I'm fortunate that I have all of these things that require my time, but they have their rewards and all of that. But it's definitely anyone who's looking and say, "Oh, you lucky to be making like, bro." No. I got a
Yeah.
full time job. I had a full time job and basically a part time job trying to make this content a lot of the time. I love it. I appreciate it, but it's not free
Yeah.
stuff. It's not.
How'd you get into the concert? What made you want to share your story?
I think just doing marathon stuff.
Yeah.
Because I like I like running content. So it was like I was training for London
Okay.
23, and I made some videos of me running at the track, workout, stretching, and all of that stuff. And I'm like, let me just record some of this, and that's what it was. It wasn't anything fancy, anything special, or like highly edited. It was iPhone and all that, and I did that, and then it turned into me getting a little more oh, let me try this, let me try that. And then as I said, getting into nerdy stuff, was talking about fueling and gels and all that. And that turned into like my first like paid gig, because like the feed saw one of these like gel videos that I did. I didn't even tag them in the video. They're like, we like that. You want to make content for us? I was like, you want to make content for us? I was like, of course I do. So that's how it wasn't. It wasn't an intentional thing. I didn't aim to be a content creator or influencer, I know is what a lot of people call it, but that wasn't the goal. It just happened because I was making content. So when people ask me, so, oh, how can I, bro, easy. Just go make 50. Like, you want to be a content creator? Go make 50 videos. They're going to be terrible at first. They're going to get better. And eventually someone's going to see it. Yeah. Do I got to make 50 videos? Yes. You got to make 50 in order for you to get good at it. In order for you to get good at it, they incrementally get better. So like, I guess people thought it's like a shortcut. No. You got to go do a lot of whack videos.
Yeah.
You have to make bad videos before you can make good videos. And like, if you don't, because my page now, right, turns into my resume for other brands to see the stuff that I had made. And it's like, oh, we love that style of video. We love how you make. Would you want to, maybe do something for our product or for our brand or whatever the case is? Because they see, I'm not pitching I don't DM a bunch of businesses and ask them if they see it. And it's like, yeah, sure. This is what we could do. So when people ask me, I'm like, I'll be honest, yo, bro, you have no videos. You have no content on your page.
Yeah.
How is somebody going to view you as someone, like, put you on? How? So, and I have no problem explaining that. It's like I make a lot of free videos, like my own personal content, because I think, one, I enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy like shooting, editing, and all of that stuff. But also like that turns into content that other people enjoy too, where I'm not talking about, the gel that I ate or the thing that I drank, like in every single video. Sometimes it's just a video because I want to like make a new style of video.
Yeah, for the fun of the edit and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so talking about all that, you say you got a lot. It's a blessing to have a lot, obviously. What are you looking forward to in 2026 now, man? I mean, you already got Jersey. We got the exclusive here. Jersey City Marathon.
Exclusive. I was going to say it soon. And I told a lot of people. But yeah, we got Jersey City coming up 2026. So we got that. So I got a pretty cool thing. I'm doing a podcast with Chris Chavez and Sidious Mag. So that would be coming that'll be coming in 2026. I won't share any more details. If you you saw something. You saw something a few weeks ago. You maybe saw something. So we have something coming. Coming in 2026. I genuinely don't know what day or anything like that, because in this case it's kind of cool. I'm just talent on the show. So like I'm just on the microphone. I'm not editing. I'm not. Yeah. But no, I'm very, very excited because, one, I'm a huge fan of Sidious Mag and what they do in the track and field world. So to be able to contribute to that is huge, and I feel like, yo, this is like I was just making a bunch of videos over here. Now I'm on Sidious Mag, Chris Chavez on the side. So we got that coming, and very excited. I'll probably say something. I'll probably share that like in the new year too. But yeah, that's so. See, it's more things. There's more things now for me to share. Things like, babe, sorry, I gotta go link up with Chris Chavez and shoot a video again. She knows. She's like, yeah, all right. Tell Chris I said hi. So yeah, that's what we got.
That's dope, man. Well, look, Patryk, man, I appreciate you hopping on here, man, and sharing a couple exclusives for those listening, sharing your journey and running, man. Looking forward to seeing more. For those listening, this has been the People Run Podcast here with Patryk. If you share, like it, subscribe and whatnot. Tune in. See you next time, guys. Peace.
Like and subscribe.